Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we just got the first box openings of Maze of the Masters, which actually reveals the new Odion cards, which we're going to be going over in this video. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out Odion's Trap Deck. So I'm super excited about this because one of my favorite cards as a kid was actually Mystical Beast of Circuit and Temple of the Kings. It just looks so cool, and I'm so excited to actually see a full playable deck. So let's go ahead and see what these cards actually do. And if you can find the rule that forbids me from playing trap cards, I'll stop, Mr. Wheeler. I'm so excited with this. This is so cool. Odion's duel was one of my favorite duels when they did it in Battle City, and was such a cool duel. So let's go ahead and see what these cards actually do. So for the first card, we have the Man with the Mark. That sounds so awesome. And it's actually Odion, which is actually insane. That's really cool to actually see Odion turned into a card. Let's go ahead and see what this card actually does. And plus, this is actually one of the first secret rares we see in the new set. So this card is a level 4 Earth Spellcaster effect monster with 1,000 attack and 1,000 defense. That's pretty good. It's okay stats, but it's probably going to have a broken effect. This card has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually take a Temple of the Kings or a spell or trap card that mentions it from your deck and either add it to your hand or send to the graveyard. That is insane. We instantly get a card that can search Temple of the Kings from our deck to our hand. That is such a powerful effect, or any spell or trap that mentions it, which is probably the entire archetype. So this card is definitely going to be a 3 of, because you can instantly search out the exact card you need off this card's effect. This card is literally the Stratos of the deck. That's awesome that Odion is his own Stratos. Okay, what else does this do? While you control Temple of the Kings, this card and Apopus monsters that you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect, and Temple of the Kings you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Okay, that's actually really cool. So he can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and he makes it so the snake trap cards, Apopus cards, actually can't be destroyed by battle or by card effect either. That's going to make it very difficult once you summon this into defense position for your opponent to deal with this, because they can't destroy by battle or by card effect, and then you're just flipping trap cards up that your opponent cannot deal with either, which is going to be actually insane. This is actually a really good start for this deck. Okay, so for the next card, I do see a circuit card. Oh, this looks cool. Okay, this one was actually the one I was super excited for the artwork, and it's actually a main deck monster. Okay. So this card is called Merciless Scorpion of Circuit. That looks awesome. That looks like after it destroyed Jinzo and it started standing up, which was insane, because as in the, if you guys have not seen Battle City, as Circuit destroyed monsters, it actually gained attributes of monsters. So as it destroyed like Legendary Fisherman, it actually gained a fishtail, which is what this water is here for. And then also we saw it destroy Insect Queen, which when it gained wings, when it actually destroyed Insect Queen. And then when it destroyed Jinzo, it stood up, which was terrifying, but it was awesome all at once. Okay, so let's see what this card actually does. So it's a Merciless Scorpion of Circuit. Okay, this card is a level 6 Earth Fairy effect monster with 2,500 attack and 2,000 defense. So this card is literally a retrain of the original Circuit for those stats. Okay, and also it's a fairy. Again, doesn't make a lot of sense why this is a fairy. This is like the ugliest fairy I've ever seen, but okay. This card has the effect that it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing one level 10 or higher monster from your hand or deck while you control Temple of the Kings. Okay, so already this card is level 10. I can already see it. We're probably going to use it with this, but if this is a trap deck, you technically could use Lord of the Heavenly Prisons with this card as well. We do see a lot of trap cards, which means you can tech that card in. Okay, so you're just going to basically banish level 10 or higher monster from the hand or deck while you control Temple of the Kings to special summon this card, and you only special summon it once per turn this way. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can add a Temple of the Kings or a spell card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. That's broken depending on the other support. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's you can actually destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to half the destroyed monster's original attack. That was the actual anime effect of Mystical Beast of Circuit, that it would gain the attack points of the monsters it destroyed by half. So this card is actually what it should have been, and now we actually have it, which is insane. This is actually really, really cool. But originally, I believe in the anime, it was a ritual monster, and now it's actually a main deck monster, but that's awesome. This card is actually really, really cool, and I love the artwork of it. Okay, so the next card, oh, it literally is Anubis. Oh, this is cool. Okay, by the way, this card may be a 1 or a 2 of, because it's actually going to be pretty easy to get to. So for the next one, we have Anubis, the Last Judge. That sounds awesome. Okay, please be good. Okay, this card is a level 10, I can already see, Anubis, the Last Judge. It's a fiend with 3,000 attack and 0 defense points. And it also, yes, it is a level 10, so this card is 3,000 attack and 0 defense points. Kind of makes me think of the end of Anubis. Are we about to tie that into this? Okay, that'd be actually really cool. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand or grave. Okay, so it actually works with our copy of Circuit, which is actually pretty cool. It actually might make Circuit a 3 of to get this card into the graveyard, which might be interesting, because you can actually summon it back. Must be special summoned from your hand or your grave while you have 3 or more cards in your graveyard with different names that are Temple of the Kings and or trap cards by placing 2 of them on the bottom of the deck in any order. Okay, so that's very easy to summon. That's very, very, very easy to summon. And also we have a way to like Foolish Burial while also getting another boss monster on the field, which is actually pretty cool. I love the fact that they've actually included Anubis in this archetype, because Anubis was actually, Judgment of Anubis was a card that Odion actually used. I believe he used Curse of Anubis as well. So he used Anubis cards, trap cards, and the Temple of the King, which is so cool. Okay, so this card's other effect is you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add the man with the mark from your deck to your hand. Instantaneously a 3 of. This card is the searcher for the searcher. This card's kind of like Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, searching out different cards from the deck, which is insane. So this card is the searcher for the searcher. That's insane. Okay. Also, if a spell or trap card you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So it kind of retaliates if your opponent like destroys something, it pops a card they control, which is actually pretty cool. I really like that effect overall, to be able to just pop something, but this card just being a searcher on its own and playing along with the copy of the Merciless Scorpion just completely works. This card is a 3 of in the deck, and actually might make this card a 3 of in the deck, so you can Foolish this and then bring it back to your side of the field. That's actually really cool. So we have like 3 3-ofs in the deck already. Okay, ooh, it's going to be a fusion archetype. It's going to be a fusion archetype. Let's see what this does. This is Divine Serpent Apopus. Oh my god, it's actually a fusion version of Apopus. Okay. What does this do? Oh, another fusion. Okay, don't jump ahead. That's really cool, though. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm really excited about this. Okay, what does this card do? It actually has a short effect. Let's see what it does. Okay, this card is a level 6 Earth Reptile fusion effect monster with 2,800 attack and 2,600 defense. And it also has the materials that it takes 2 monsters that mention Temple of the Kings. That is so easy in this deck. Like the man with the mark, and then like any of your other cards like Circuit or anything. But does it have an effect that's good enough that we want to use those cards to be able to summon this? Okay, it must either be fusion summon or special summon by treating 2 Apopus monsters. That might be easy depending on if we have a new Apopus card besides this, but the old Apopus card and the Swamp Deity might be worth actually treating for this card. Once per turn, you can target up to 3 Apopus traps with different names in the graveyard and set them. Oh, it's free. Oh, it's free. Okay, so wow, that's free. Wow, that's actually free. So you summon him by treating 2 Apopus monsters, and then you just reset them to your side of the field. Yeah, that's free. This is definitely a 3-of. Okay, or not a 3-of, but you're definitely playing this at least 1 or 2. Okay, and once per turn, if a trap card is activated, target card your opponent controls and destroy it. Whoa. Okay, so by just activating our trap cards, we can actually pop cards. That's insane. This card is actually really good and helps us pop cards, and it's free, dude. So you can actually like summon out like a cross sheep and then summon this and then revive back your copy of Man with the Mark. Like that's actually pretty good to be able to loot through your cards. So that definitely going to see play in the deck. Oh, we have a Circuit fusion. Oh, it looks so good. What does this do? Okay, so it's called Divine Scorpion Beast of Circuit. That looks so cool. Again, though, still the ugliest fairy I've ever seen. But let's see what this does. It is a level 6 Earth Fairy fusion effect monster. Why is this a fairy? Okay, and it has attack of 3,000, defense of 2,000. Its materials is one circuit monster plus a monster with 2,500 or less attack. Is that a super poly target, SC? Is that a super poly target, SC? That might be a super poly target. What does this do? If this card is special summoned, or at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, target a face-up monster opponent controls or in the graveyard and just banish it. And if you do, this card gains attack equal to the half of the banished monster's original attack points, period, which means it's permanent. It's permanently gaining that. That is insane that this card is just going to permanently gain those attack points. And that's really good. So it's just if it attacks or if it's summoned. So this card is going to get massive really quick. And it starts at 3k, dude. This card is massive. This card is really, really good. Okay. You can only use this effect of Divine Beast Scorpion or Divine Scorpion Beast of Circuit once per turn. Also, can make a second attack during each battle phase while a level 10 or higher monster is banished. Okay. So if our copy of Anubis is banished, we can just use this to be able to attack twice. Are you kidding me? And it's easy to set up too, as long as we have a way to fusion. And we're probably going to get a way to fusion this archetype because we have 2 fusion monsters now in this archetype. So I'm looking for the fusion spell now. Okay. Ooh, we got a new field spell. Okay, and it's actually a secret rare. I believe there's only 6 secret rares in the set. And I've been seeing like 2 secrets per box, I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think in the content creator openings, I've seen actually 2 secrets per box. I've watched a lot of them, but let's go ahead and see what this card actually does. Okay, so this card is called Treasures of the Kings. Okay, that's pretty cool. So it's actually a field spell. Please count it as like Temple of the Kings, so we can have like 6 copies of Temple. Okay, when this card is activated, you can actually set an Apopus trap from your deck. This card's name becomes Temple of the Kings while in the field spell zone. Okay, I was right. That's really cool. Okay, once per turn, if you have 2 or more set cards on your field or a trap card in your grave, you can add a monster that mentions Temple of the King from your deck to your hand. What? Set 2, add a Temple of the King card. What? Okay, so we can use this to search Man with the Mark, and then use Man with the Mark to be able to like, wait a minute, hold on. Does this just like loop through everything? Okay, so wait a minute. Hold up. Before we go any further, this adds a monster that mentions Temple of the Kings. This mentions Temple of the Kings, so you can search this. This discards and sends itself to the graveyard because you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1, the Man with the Mark. So we grab the Man with the, not that one, Man with the Mark. And then this card has the ability to take a Temple of the Kings or spell or trap that mentions it from your deck to your hand and send it to the grave or add it to your hand. So we can grab like one of the other cards that we're going to get. So that's actually really cool that they kind of loop through one another. Like that's perfect synergy to be able to loop through each other. And I really like that. Okay. So that's actually really cool that this card is basically a searcher and counts as Temple of the King. So we have like 6 copies of Temple of the King in the deck now and searchers for days to be able to get to them. Okay. So what else do we have? Okay. Defense of the Temple. Oh dude, it's Circuit. Dude, it's Circuit. That's so cool. Okay. This was actually like Cup of Soul, I believe, was the original version of this card. I think it was called Cup of Soul, but that's actually really cool. And it was what they used to like ritual summon Circuit. But let's go ahead and see what it does. It's a rare card. We got to get a bad card somewhere. We got to get a bad card somewhere because all these other cards have been really good. Okay, so oh, it's the fusion spell. Okay, normal spell card with the ability to let you fusion summon an Earth Fairy fusion monster from your X deck using monsters from your hand or field. Okay, so it's fusion spell. If you use a monster you control that mentions Temple of the Kings, which we will, you can also use face-up monsters your opponent controls as material. Wait a minute. That's a super poly. Wait a minute. That means you can use it to summon this if your opponent has any monster on the field that has less than 2,500 attack. Use a Circuit monster plus any monster has less than 2,500 attack and make this. And then this actually takes 2 monsters and mention Temple of the King. So you can't make this, but you can make this. You can make Divine Scorpion Beast of Circuit. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. That's actually really good. And if you control Temple of the Kings, you can banish a card from the graveyard to add 1 Dangers of the Divine. What is it? Oh, that's the next card. Okay. So literally everything's searching everything. Like that's really cool. Okay. From your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. So it's a fusion spell and a super poly and a searcher for the next card. Okay. what is the next card? Because that to me looks like the fake Winged Dragon of Ra, and it's kind of taking judgment on Odion and Joey because he actually summoned a fake Winged Dragon of Ra to the field, which was one of the most epic moments in the entire Battle City arc. And if you guys have not seen it, I don't know what you're doing here first, but if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Okay, so let's see what this card actually does. And definitely comment down below what your favorite like scene in Battle City was. Mine was actually, I think, when I think this was one of my favorite duels. Like this, or when Yugioh dueled against Bakura. That one was a really good one too. Okay, so what does this do? Dangers of the Divine. It's a quick play spell card, and it has Ra on it. Are we about to tie? Oh, I see the Winged Dragon of Ra right here. Okay, so this card lets you pay half your life points, tribute a monster, special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or banishment, ignoring its summoning conditions, and make its attack 4,000 and its defense 4,000, but it cannot attack. That's kind of useless. Okay, also, during the end phase of the next turn, return it back to your hand. So you can, like, summon and then add Ra to your hand, and it's a 4K? Okay, that's weird. So you can technically play Ra like Odion did, but you're gonna get to correctly summon it? Okay, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, choose a Winged Dragon of Ra in your monster zone, and send all other monsters on the field to the graveyard. So it kind of does Divine Judgment, which is kind of cool. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Maybe like a one of if you decide to play Ra, but it seems kind of optional in the deck. It doesn't seem like you have to play this, but it kind of seems interesting with your copy of Circuit. Maybe it's a one of and you just banish your copy of Ra off the effect of your Circuit monster, and then you use this to be able to fusion summon, and then you can also use this, banish, and add your copy of Danger of the Divine, and then activate Danger of the Divine, summon out your copy of Ra, and then once you do, you can actually link it away, because there's nothing that's locking you from linking, and then you can just be able to get it back, or you can just wait it out and then add it to your hand, and let it just kind of sit there if you want to. I don't know, seems kind of weird, seems kind of gimmicky because it was an anime thing, but it looks cool. It looks really, really cool. I really like it because this card looks like an old school card, the way that it's been drawn, and I love the artwork. It's really cool. I might have to play Ra at 1 in the deck just because of this card and play this at 1 as well. Okay, so we have Verdict of Anubis. Oh, that is a new version of Judgment of Anubis, which is such a cool card and one of my favorite cards, which is so cool. Like, it's one of my favorite trap cards from the original show because I actually pulled it out of a single pack of Dark Crisis. I had a friend of mine that actually told me about how good Judgment of Anubis was before the episode aired. And he was like, hey, if you can get a hold of a Judgment of Anubis, I was like 6 at the time, 6 or 7 years old. And he was like, if you can pull a Judgment of Anubis, get it. And I was like, okay, I've got it. So I was like locked in. I was like, I got to get a Judgment of Anubis. And I went out and bought 1 pack of Dark Crisis, pulled it. And I was like, oh, I went the next week to Books Millie and showed it to me. He was like, how did you get this? So yeah, quick shout out to David who taught me how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. But let's go ahead and see what this is like. Bring back so many cool memories. This whole like set. Okay, so let's see what this does. So Verdict of Anubis, counter trap card. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control 3 or more other spells and traps, so you have to have like this plus 3, negate the activation if you destroy that card. Then, if you control Temple of the Kings, you can destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the total attack of the destroyed monsters. Jeez, that's a lot of burn damage. Whoa, dude. That is a lot of burn damage. And I love how you actually see Joey's monsters on here. You see Panther Warrior, Swordsman of Landstar, and Gearfried the Iron Knight with Verdict of Anubis. That's actually pretty cool. I really like this card. Now, that's a game ender card. I feel like this is probably like a 2 of in the deck. This is probably like a 1 of. Okay. So that's actually really cool as a counter trap to just stop your opponent. Like, you can stop Feather Duster. You can stop like Talents. You can stop Thrust. You can stop like Heavy Storm when it eventually comes back. You can stop Lightning Storms. You can stop everything that's going to like board wipe you. This is actually really good. Okay, So for the next card, which is actually the last card because we actually have content creator uploads, we actually have this, which is Apopus the Serpent. Okay, whoa, it's like the oh, there's the head too. Oh wow, this is really cool. Like, this is actually a retrain, and the shield looks spooky, dude. Like, I really like that. That's actually really cool. I love this, how he's like leaning down. It's a vanguard. That's really, that looks really spooky. I like that. Okay, like, this card has the ability that it's a continuous trap card, and it lets you special summon this card as a normal monster that's a reptile earth level 4 with 1600 attack and 1800 defense. That is the same stats as the original Apopus, and this card is still treated as a trap card. Then you can actually set an Apopus trap from your deck, except another copy of this card. So we're setting the Swamp Deity to our side of the field, or we can set the original Apopus to our side of the field, so we can actually go in for a rank 4 play, because you can actually, I believe, don't hold me to this, but you should be able to use both copies of Apopus for Time Thief Redoer, because it's a trap card, so you can get the really good effect that's a bounce for Time Thief Redoer. Also, it can be activated this turn. Yeah, no, whoa, okay. So you go Temple of the King, set this, activate it, summon it, set the original Apopus, activate it, summon it, and then you make a Redoer, and Redoer can bounce twice. That's really good. Okay. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can actually add an embodiment of Apopus from your deck to your hand, and you can only use each effect of this card once per turn. That's really good. Okay, this is a 3 of. Okay, so let's go over the cards. I'm going to tell you guys what I think when I build this deck, what each card is going to be at, because I love to do that with you guys and like tell you guys what I think of how many each card you're going to need. This is a 3 of. This is instantaneously 3 of, and you're probably going to need at least one copy of Embodiment of Apopus. If you can get the jump one, definitely get the jump one. Okay, it's well worth it. I have a couple of them, and they look phenomenal. Also, we're on the road to 100K subscribers, so definitely subscribe. We're like less than 1,000 away, so definitely subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and see what else we're going to play at 3. So this card is definitely going to be a 3 of. This card is maybe a 1 or 2 of. I'm not sure. Probably like a 1 of, because this card is just going to instantly win you a game. This card's like a 1 of, a 0 to 1 of if you want to play raw. If you don't want to play raw, you don't have to, because you can tech in Lord of the Heavenly Prison instead as a level 10. Plus you have the Anubis the Last Judge as well, so you can use it with that instead, so you don't have to play this. I feel like this card is probably a 2 of, so you can actually summon out your fusion monster. Maybe a 1 of, since we can search out spell cards that mention Temple of the King from your deck to your hand. So this card might actually be a 1 of, maybe a 2 of. This is a 3 of. Instantaneously, the field spell is a 3 of. It's a Searcher. It sets your Apopus trap. It instantly gets you to your copy of Temple of the Kings. Like, it's just, like, it doesn't get to Temple of the Kings, but it gets you to your monster. Like, this card is instantaneously a 3 of. Okay, this is like one of the best ones. Okay, this card is probably a 1 or a 2 of in the extract. Depends on if you want to play something like, we don't have that much extract reliance, because you're going to play Silver Hat Rabbit in here, because we play trap cards as well. You could technically play this with Extravagance and just play both the fusion monsters at 3 and then play like 3 Silver Hat Rabbit as well. If you want to do that, like 3 Silver Hat Rabbit, 3 Silver Hat Rabbit, 3 of each of the fusions, that's like 9, and then play 3 Redoer and then like 3 Typhon, and it would be fine. And you could play like 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance and dig into the deck. It's really good for trap decks because you're digging for more resources. If you're playing Extravagance, 3. If you're not playing Extravagance, maybe a 2. This is probably like a 1 if you're not playing Extravagance. You're probably summoning this like once. This is instantaneously a 3 of, because you can discard it, add the man with the mark from deck to the hand. This, I'm not sure. This one, I'm not really that sure. I feel like this one is a 3 of because it does search. During the main phase, you can actually add a Temple of the Kings or a spell that mentions it from your deck to your hand. So it literally searches the fusion spell. And then also, it's super easy to summon because it must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 level 10 or higher monster from your hand or deck. So you can banish your copy of, you can banish like the Anubis guy. You can banish Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Like, you can banish so much stuff off of this to be able to summon it, which is just insane. And then the man with the mark is 100% a 3 of. 100% a 3 of. To be able to just use this and then grab your copy of Temple of the King is just insane. I feel like this one's kind of weird because I don't see, like, I might be missing it, but I don't see where you search this. I don't see it. And again, this right off the bat, Oh, this actually searches. Okay, so the temple will actually can search circuit because it mentions Temple of the King. So you technically could play like two of the circuit because you have Temple of the King that can actually grab it. So I'd play like a 2, maybe a 2. This is probably a 2 of this one. So this is 3, this is 2, this is 3, this is 2 if you're playing without extravagance, 3 if you are playing extravagance, 1 if you're not, 3 if you are, 3, 1 or 2, 0 or 1 depending on if you want to play raw. If you want to play raw, 1. If you don't want to play raw, 0. This is a 2 of, this is a 3 of, and then we're definitely playing the original Popus, and we're playing like 2 to 3 of the Swamp Deity. Definitely playing 2 to 3 of the Swamp Deity. And also we are playing Lord of the Heavenly Prison in this deck. We are so playing Lord of the Heavenly Prison in this deck because we can get to this. We can get to like so much stuff. You can get to this. You can get to so much stuff. You can get to like so many different cards in this deck with your copy of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. But I think they did this justice. I really think that this is awesome. We do have the full set spoiler as well for this entire thing. We're getting a quarter century rare version of Silent Magician level 8, and we're getting a quarter century version of number 107, the Tachyon Dragon, Galaxy S Tachyon Dragon, which is awesome as well. Definitely gonna be on the lookout for those, but I'm definitely building Odion as soon as I can get my hands on it. I'm just not sure what to call it. I know in the anime, I believe in the anime and the manga, they called it Odion's Trap Hell deck, but we're probably just going to end up calling it the Temple of the Kings deck, I think. So that's going to do for this one, guys. Definitely tell me what you think of these down in the comments down below. I think they're awesome. I don't think they're meta relevant until maybe the OCG gets a hold of it, but it's a great start, kind of like what they did with Gate Guardian, that they gave it exactly what it needed to be able to function, and that actually functions really well. It has negates, it has ways to make XZ plays, it has ways to summon it out, everything searches one another, it has ways to negate cards from destroying its entire field, you have an extra Temple of the King, you have 2 boss monsters, you have a main deck boss monster, you have searchers for days. Like, this has everything that it needs to do, like, to actually win Battle City, which is so cool. But I think it's awesome. I think it's really well, and I think they actually executed this one maybe even better than Flame Swordsman, and maybe better than Gate Guardian. It might be better than Gate Guardian. Okay, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. It might be better than Gate Guardian. I'm not sure, because Gate Guardian does have a double spell negate, a spell trap negate, and a thrice per turn targeting negate. This has like a couple of negates, but it's only like spell trap negates. So that's the only place I think it's lacking, but you can kind of make up for that with Solemn Strike, which is how I am actually going to make up for that, is Solemn Judgments and Solemn Strikes. So that's going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell near so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely comment down below what card you think the OCG is going to use for this. I think they're going to actually retrain Swords of Revealing Light to be Swords of the Temple of the Kings, or Swords of the Kings, to actually make another card for this archetype when the OCG gets a hold of this, because currently this is only in the TCG. So that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.